experience that it helps us all join. I did it myself, joined some tournaments, and then got hooked up with IVD. If you would like to become a caster, we're looking for casters. We're looking for anybody to help us out, do all these things that we need help with. But we're going to finally get into this game. And I don't know who the observer is looking at this moment. It is on spawning on the bottom left. We have our, as a pink, we're going to go with lavender because it's different. Lavender is our the color of our Zerg over here, PulseKane. And spawning on the right side, we have our Terran player, OGCantro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please excuse me. And he's yellow, so. And what do you play yourself? So,
I play Protoss.
You play Protoss?
Yeah.
I play Protoss as well, and I do love Protoss, but I do understand quite a bit about TVZ, and it is like a classic matchup. The aliens versus the humans trying to invade their home planet, which is unfortunate for the Marines because they're kind of outnumbered most of the time.
Yeah, and this also isn't even their planet. This is just a shipyard, which makes it even worse because that means they have even less chance of getting home.
Why would you defend a broken down shipyard? Is my what strategic advantage does a broken down shipyard have?
Because
Lions of America or something, whatever the backstory to StarCraft is. I'm sorry.
The Dominion.
The Dominion. That sounds very, very nice. That sounds like a nice, like a wonderful organization that I would like to join, so they don't murder my family. The Dominion. Yes, that sounds like something I would love to be a part of.
Yes, even though they kill their own people.
Totally.
That's why you gotta play the campaign, bro. You walk into stuff like that, and you don't want to walk into stuff.
That's right. I'm pretty sure the Terran's gonna go with a standard one racks expand. Very very safe on this map. It's a pretty long walking distance, and I believe we are on the GSL version of Antiqua's Shipyard. It is forced cross spawns.
Yeah, but even on the latter version now, Blizzard, they finally listened to us, and instead of replacing Antigua Shipyard, they just decided to make this forced cross spawn like every other tournament does. So it's good to know that we at least have forced cross spawns everywhere. I know sometimes players, they do get confused with whether or not it's going to be forced cross spawn. We do have the drone getting away from Cantro's first Marine.
Chased away, took a little BB shots in the back there, but he is safe and is going to go report back to the Zerg hive mind what he has seen.
Yes.
So he can get patched up and regain his health, because that's what drones do.
Yes, and that's what all Zerg do, even their buildings.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes, I do believe it is.
I wish I could regain health. If I could cut off my arm would just grow back. But I'm not Zerg, and I don't think my life would be the same if I was Zerg. But still, it's not harmful to wish for things.
Yes, it is.
Unless you have an actual genie lamp and then get your wishes granted. But that's another story.
Yep, and it's a story we're gonna have to wait to hear because we're actually trying to watch StarCraft.
That's right.
I'm surprised too, huh?
I'm sorry, but this matchup is usually quite slow at the very beginning. You know, everyone's just gonna macro get their stuff set up. We're gonna see what the Terran's gonna go for, which is gonna be some standard Hellion harassment, most likely. Putting a reactor on that barracks and then swap him over so he can start some Hellion production, so he can get some map control, stop the creep spread of the Zerg, which is very important because if you leave a Zerg alone for a long time, it gets really hard. It gets really hard to keep them back and to keep them from pushing that creep forward into your base, getting into your third base, and you're just like, okay, well, what do I do now? Because he's in your front yard, planning, putting gnomes that you don't want there, and no one likes garden gnomes, but they are adorable. I can't hate on them.
Alright, so Cantro right now just going to be going for a regular 1-Rex expand into 1-1-1 play. The starport's going down right now. The factory has its reactor. Going to start making some Hellions. Kane just going for the normal 4 queens. It's a smart choice. That way you have 2 for each hatchery and then 2 just to lay down some creep tumors and also defend against any sort of Hellion harassment.
I do love the bunker placement and this little SCV, I'm sorry, this little supply depot wall in that he's making. Protects that side, protects the main from Lings running in there.
Yeah. Now, having a wall like that, it does leave one side open, but at least you know for sure, like, okay, all of the units are going to come from there, so I just put all of my defenses there.
Yeah, it forces them to funnel into that direction. So if you place a couple, use the Hellions over there, it works. It works with you pretty well. And only 2 queens out for our Zerg player Kane at this time. Usually, oh no, there's 3. There's 3. I'm sorry. There's 4 altogether. He has 2 straight up over here, just getting creeped down. That is my apologies. Should check the unit tab before I give out numbers of units. But yeah, 4 queens, 2 out here just to spread the creep, and 1 to start injecting that 3rd hatchery as soon as it pops up. But only made a couple Zerglings just to try and defend against some kind of Hellion run by. But it's quite a commitment to run your Hellions in there and try and get kills. You lose all your map control, and then the Zerg has free reign to start harassing your expansions and taking other expansions.
Yep. Right now, Cantro are going to be doing something pretty unique, even though it is much better now in the recent patches. Cantro getting a Raven. This is a smart choice. The Seeker Missile, I believe it does the AoE damage still.
In Wings of Liberty, yes, they changed it where it does more unit damage and less splash damage, but it still does splash damage in Heart of the Swarm, just less.
Yeah. So the reason I'm confused, Heart of the Swarm, Wings of Liberty, they have so many patches on the Seeker Missile, it's almost, like, ridiculous now. It's like, does the Seeker Missile have AoE? No one knows.
Not anymore. Only in your dreams.
Yep. And now Cantro...
A nice little Hellion attack down here at the bottom. Hellions are running away. Now he sees the Bailings. Getting a nice little surround on one of those Hellions, able to pick off. The Banshee's in low health. Has to run away. I like that little pressure there from our Terran player, Contro. He's just kind of maybe trying to force some more units, which he did. Made him make a bunch of Lings, which can't really be used all that much right now. Since he has Hellions and Bailings, I mean, it may force him to try and attack the front. But yeah. I would love to see a Seeker Missile on some Bailings. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes, it would, because then all the Bailings blow up without blowing up on any of the Terran units. So long as the Bailings are far away. Far, far away.
And I know everybody wants to see Heart of the Swarm, but Wings of Liberty is not dead yet. It is still alive and kicking.
For about a month and a half.
For about a month. So it is in the point where it has had a stroke. It is hooked up to some kind of respirator. And we're just going to pull the plug after the lawyers are done with their things. We're just going to pull the plug and hope that it doesn't breathe on its own.
And now Cantro going to be killing off the Overlord that was dropping creep on his 3rd base. Kane going to be moving Zerglings across the map here. The Zerglings going to have to pull away as the Hellions did kill off quite a few of them as they were coming in. The Raven is now out, enough for about 1 Seeker Missile at the moment. Kane going to be... Sorry?
Sorry, dude. PulseKane's creep shred is just pretty much immaculate at this point, spreading it all the way out on both sides of the map, taking the 4th and using this middle high ground as a rally point for all of his units, just kind of taking back map control for the Zerg, and saying, this is my land, and I'm gonna put my flag right here.
Yep. Right now, Cantro, it looks like he might be transitioning into 2-factory bio, as he is getting a 2nd factory, still getting more barracks, and still upgrading the infantry weapons and armor. So it does show that Cantro are going to be going into the more normal marine tank medevac. And then also with the Raven there, it will help quite a bit. And Kane's getting his hive right now.
I'm a little worried about this attack coming from Contro. He's moving out on the map, and all these Lings are now gonna attack these 2 queens right in here, and he's able to pick off these 2 queens. These Lings and Bailings are now gonna start running towards him, and this is just kind of a really small army to be out on the map right now. Surrounded most of these Hellions, some picked up a siege tank, 1 Hellion and 2 Marines were saved. It's gotta be a story to tell when you get home. Like, honey, I was surrounded, and then, I don't know, I got yoinked in the air somehow. Well, how do they do that anyway? Like, how do they just suck things up into the medevac? They have like a tractor beam.
It's either that or they have a really, really, really strong vacuum and only marine, and only the shells of the vehicles and the armor of the marines get
Well, the medevac would make like
latched
a sound as it as it like sucks up the medevac. Because I can't imagine like there's a hook that extends and grabs. Like I can understand that grabbing up siege tank, but then for marines that would just be too dangerous. You'd just be impaling marines as you try to pick them up. Suck up dead marines into the medevac. Like, oh, too late. I can't heal you now.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
I believe at one point they healed in the medevac. I believe, like, I think that, and that was changed, if I'm mistaken. And all these lings running into these siege tanks before they are sieged. I don't know. There's so many failings just hitting everything. Usually you don't want to hit failings with siege tanks, but when there's a small amount and you're just trying to get rid of stuff, yeah, you put them on attack move that just kill anything and everything.
Yep, and Kane, even if this attack does get held, he's getting 6 Ultralisks right now, getting through 3 Adrenal Glands, and that pretty early hive, it worked wonders for Kane here, as now the third base of Cantro has been ravaged. GG coming out of Cantro. So that means Kane gonna be taking our first game here. And we're going to be back soon with game number 2 between OGCantro versus PulseKane. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You don't have to worry about me calling you anymore. I'm thinking about what to say if I showed up at your door. Not anymore. I know I gotta try to put you out of my mind. I make it through the days okay, but it's always so much harder late at night with no end in sight. They say that time will heal the heart and I'll forget it all. How I wish that were the case. But it's been 29 days since you left me out here in the cold. 29 days since the last time I saw your face. 29 days to get used to sleeping here alone since you left without.
Alright, everybody, we are back with game number 2 between PulseKane and OGCantro.
Both players are ready, so I'm going to start this. My apologies. I missed them saying go, 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 go. In the StarCraft world, that means go.
Yes, I do believe it does.
And universally, I think that means go as well.
Oh no, in some places it might mean stop.
In reverse land, yes.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking I was playing. I was starting. Let's do this. I'm ready to take on Kane.
Alright.
I would get stomped, but it's fun to try. You gotta keep your dreams high, kids.
Yeah. Alright, so game number 2 going to be on GSL Whirlwind. Spawning on top of the Lavender Zerg from Pulse Esports. He is Kane.
Professional zoom in. Watch that drone be birthed into the world.
Yes. And over on the top left corner, we have the yellow Terran, currently down 0-1. From O Gaming, it is Cantro.
Sexy. It does, dude. I'm sorry. Oh, I love the manner GLHF. I'm not sure if it was said last game, but sometimes in a tournament scene, you kind of forget. Sometimes it's not allowed. Like GSL, I believe it's not allowed to type.
Oh, that's Pro League.
Oh, well, Pro League. Well, this is Pro League. Every player is a pro, in my mind. You know.
Not according to Kespa.
I'm not a Kespa, Terran, Protoss, or Zerg, or manager, or associated with them in any manner. So they're all
That's a
pros
good
in my
thing.
mind.
That's a good thing.
They're all wonderful. And this is an even bigger map than our last map, Antigua Shipyard. So I would guess, I'm gonna speculate here. They're probably gonna go for fast expansions.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea because this map is so huge. The other thing that might happen on Whirlwind, but probably not, is that you go and you 6-pool or 11-11 your opponent and just hope that you happen to find them on your first rally.
Mhm.
Usually people don't do that because of just how likely it is for that to not work.
I've seen. I think it was it Squirtle the other day that four-gated a Zerg. I think on Whirlwind, and I was like, no way. No way. And then he just killed him, and I was like, no way. No, just no. This still works? You could still do this? Because I did this, like, back in the beta. Like, I would four-gate Zergs, and it would work. But I cannot believe that it would work now, at this point in the game, where it's pretty much figured out, and it's about to, it's about to get shut down and move on to Heart of the Swarm. Like, that still works. Or maybe it's at the point where, like, a Zerg just doesn't even consider that to be an option of yours. Like, they don't four-gate anymore. He's not going to four-gate
Yeah.
me. And then he four-gates you. And then so that, stuff like that can obviously catch your opponent off guard if you're just like, he's not going to proxy 2-star port me. No, that's not going to happen. And then all of a sudden, 4 Banshees show up at your base, and there's nothing you can do. So it's definitely always a possibility to see some random strategies work just because they're not expected, or they have kind of run out of style and stuff. So that's fun to see stuff like that come back into the scene. Like, oh, you can still do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always good to see how the metagame adapts, what was thrown out that could possibly work again. Cantro, though, doing something that is usually normally seen now, which is going 1-Rex expand, getting a fast 3rd command center, and also going to be dropping down 2 gases, so he will be going 1-1-1, which is pretty much the norm nowadays.
It's going to be so much fun whenever we get into the Heart of the Swarm, and there's nothing that's normal. Nothing is normal.
Yes.
I can go Mothership Core Rush, and that'll eventually become normal or something. Like it.
Yeah.
I love the Mothership Core. As being a Protoss, I think it's amazing. But I've seen so many people not micro it. Just like ends up on the same hotkey as the army, and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
It has such little life though. That's what I like about it though, because I think if it had like a Thor's life or something, it'd just be like, okay. This is ridiculous, but it has quite a small amount of HP and shields and things, so it can get taken out pretty quickly.
Yep. And coming back to Wings of Liberty now. Kane, our sir.
Sorry.
We're getting way too off topic today, bro.
Sorry, I love Heart of the Swarm, and I'm so
Yeah, I
glad
know, I do
happy
too.
when it's
I
gonna
do
be
too,
coming
don't
out,
worry.
but I understand this is Wings of Liberty, and all the stuff is the same as we've seen it over and over again. For those of you who have not, for the newbies around. For the newbies that are joining StarCraft right now, don't join StarCraft. Join Heart of the Swarm. It would be very not a good idea to start playing StarCraft and then Heart of the Swarm comes out. But interesting, going for a Spire here, a 2-base Spire for PulseKane, Mutas most likely.
Yeah, it could very well be that, but and it's going to be 2-base Mutalisk here from our Lavender Zerg Kane. And right now, Cantro going to be just getting up his Banshees. Kane going to be going for the Mutaling Baneling style as he is dropping down that Baneling nest right now. Cantro, though, looks like he could be pretty prepared for that.
As for scouting, he has not scouted the main. He's seen that there's a second base for the Zerg, and Contra has no idea that the Spire is going up right now, and no, is there? Let me look around the base myself for an engineering bay, and I do not see an engineering bay. So it's going to be a little while until he has the ability to put up turrets.
Yep, and right now it's going to be Cloak Banshee from Cantro here. So both players going to be going for that quick air harass on their opponents. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see, will the Mutalisks be able to catch the Banshees in time?
Also getting bailing speed. So so he's going Mutaling Bailing and getting his third base up right now. So I think the Mutalisks will catch him off guard, and then once he switches into the Ling Bailing, it'll be kind of hard for him to defend his front and like his main mineral line and his natural all at the same time, which is what I think that it's going to turn into.
Yeah.
These Hellions never going to burn down this hatchery.
Yeah, Hellions, they can't kill buildings as much as they'd like to. They cannot because there are no Hellbats in this game.
Think of this in a movie, like someone with a flamethrower walks up to a building and just like flaming the side of a building. But anyway, these mutas coming in here and getting the main mineral line. Oh, and Contra just not prepared, just gonna have to GG. Yep. Had just gotten his engineering bay up, but just not in time. Only had 4 Marines out on the map at that time, just not enough to defend the Mutals.
Yeah, so that was a pretty quick 2-0 from Pulse Esports Kane. Cantro unable to go